Oh, hey folks, Dude here, coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. Of all things, coming to you, of all things, March 1st. Has Wednesday, March 1st. Okay, today's thing we're going to be talking about, of all things, is going to be one of those crazy things where, time comes into play, and I really am beholden that something is a period piece. Case in point, I'm now talking about something classic. I mean, you guys know me, okay? There's some stuff that I just really truly want to get right when I build them. Case in point, this is not going to be the right item. It's close. It is an armored Tasco 3x9x40 scope that actually was fielded, most importantly, on, of all things, the Colt Target and the Colt Delta H-Bar rifle of era from about the late 1980s, mid 90s, kind of tapered off in the thousands. And it is a kind of unusual piece. These scopes are usually Japanese or Taiwanese make. There's now Chinese copies. Not nearly as good. Glass isn't as good. The armor cladding is just crap, okay? This one is not correct, though, because it actually does have the rings holding onto the rubber as opposed to actually being a part of the scope. This one, of course, being one of my collection. This is the other one in my collection. This one also being a Japanese. Taiwanese, they all look roughly about the same. The only way to really tell is you pretty much look at the little inspection sticker that's underneath the turret if it's still in place. Usually it's get peeled off in the course of time. Maybe not correct, but period leatherwood scope mount. So literally what this is it clamps onto the carry handle and the rings actually are supposed to be part of the scope. That's not correct in this regard as well. But I do have extra rings. I actually do have the proper part that's supposed to fit onto the buttstock to give you the proper cheek rest and whatnot. It is a clamp-on style of AR-15 cheek rest that was made by a company called Cherokee. Of course, the company's now gone. These things are coming to be very, very rarefied, hard to find and whatnot. But when you actually find them in correct parlance, they are actually looking something more than a little bit like this. Yes, this guy right here. So literally what it is the mounts are actually part of the scope itself. They're actually part of the base of the scope. Or the base is... Okay, the scope, base, and rings are actually part of the scope. This one, of course, being kind of unusual. Let me play with my focus right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This one, of course, being factory. Colt factory scope, rubber, 3x9, 40mm H-bar scope, no mount. You don't need the mount because it is part of the scope. That said, what actually fits onto the carry handle of the rifle, and of course you can tell this one's different than most of your Tascos you're encountering because obviously the scope doesn't look the same as, the scope, okay? This is another one. This one, of course, being a 4x16x40, stainless finish, so it's basically paint aluminum. So this one, of course, model being W416 by 40ST for stainless. You don't believe me? Okay, fine, I'll prove it to you. See? Stainless scope. See, these old style Tascos and their model designations were easy. This one, of course, is one of those rarefied pieces. This guy is going to be a unicorn fart and a very, very unusually uncountered piece of vaporware because it is no longer around. When you do see these things, considering this thing is new and in box and is now a museum piece, it is not going to go on the rifle. Which leads me into the point parcel and unfortunate happenstance thereof of you're going, so, dude, what does this thing actually look like? Well, it kind of looks more than a little bit like this. Yeah, that's right, my back. Okay. So if you looked at the picture closely, what you saw essentially was a 20-inch heavy barrel, not a government profile with all the little steps and stupid things underneath the handguards. It is a heavy barrel 1x7, not 1x9, 1x7 barrel. So essentially what it is a premium quality Colt Target barrel, heavy barrel from the factory with a A.R.M.S number 2 scope mount screwed into the carry handle with one of these guys. Well, not exactly one of these guys. The other one that's actually more correct that actually was attached to that. So while it's now a unicorn fart and vaporware and you can't obtain it, what did I do? Well, I went on eBay of all things, and I went scrounging, and I happened to find, of all things, one of these. So literally, this one being correct, you now see how it is actually put together is more than just slightly different than this guy. Yeah, the rings are not clamped on the outside of the scope. The actual scope mount is part of the body of the scope. Now, looking at this thing, and I eyeballed it just a little while ago, the glass is perfect, the magnification works dead nuts, and it does actually have that weird kind of white kind of thing creeping out of the rubber, and it does actually have the QC thing stuck underneath, which was really, really common for the time period. So you can see it actually is correct. And this is actually one of the good ones, because this guy is actually Japanese. So this is actually one of the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And the strangest damn thing of all is actually, of all things, Colt didn't contract Leupold. They contracted Tasco. So literally what this thing is, it is Japanese glass, Japanese manufacturer. It is either a Hakko or it is one of the other big names of Japanese scopes. I think it actually is a Hakko. So Hakko, Hakko, so Hakko. And anybody who knows the length, depth, and breadth of these things knows these are creme de la creme. They are the best of the best of the best of the best that Tasco ever put out. And anybody that knows these things knows, yes, you are going to have some slight parallax on them because it is pretty much just a fixed focus scope. But by and large, anybody that knows these things knows the glass for these, the price of purchase of these things is just dead nuts. It is absolutely one of the best pieces of Japanese scopeware you will ever find for the time period. And yes, I now actually have to find the rest of the parts to build my faux, Colt H bar, Delta H bar. The parts are out there if you want to scrounge around. The problem is the parts are very, very hard to encounter. Usually what it is you really have to hunt crazy, and there is facsimile stuff that's close enough. Unfortunately, other stuff nowadays has been pretty much outmoded. So it's about the same thing as a lot of the stuff that I thought was really cool back in the 90s. Pretty much has kind of gone by the wayside. So now you really kind of have to hunt it down. Yes, you can buy complete rifles, and yes, in the case, they're about $2,000. Am I going to go that route? No. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably do it like the old Johnny Cash song, one piece at a time. He built the Cadillac car, he had a 46, 47, 48, 49 Cadillac. Yeah, I'm going to do roughly about the same thing with this rifle, is I'm going to be scrounging the parts to put the thing together pretty much one piece at a time. And I'm going to have to field around and scrounge and do all the rest of that fun stuff. Some of it's going to be easy, some of it's going to be a pain in the ass, some of it's going to be a facsimile, but by and large, I want to have a Colt Delta H bar. Or at least I want to have a facsimile thereof that looks good enough, close enough, and it is all Colt componentry. I am a Colt whore of the highest order for AR-15s. I've always been. I like the way they feel. I like the way they shoot. Yes, I know there's good brands out there. Yes, I do adore DPMS for lowers. And yes, there is good stuff out there in other names, but I like Colt. I've always liked Colt. I'm a Colt nut. I like A.R.M.S for mounts. I like Colt for rifles. That's just how I roll. Smith & Wesson for revolvers. Sorry, that's just how I am. All right, folks, I'm going to break up with this one. You guys get the picture there of kind of what I'm trying to build, and I'm a happy camper because I found this guy, because these are scarce. And even scarcer is to obtain them still in the box as a new in-box museum piece. This is not going on a rifle. This is going to stay in my collection off the gun, unfortunately, because, well, it's just too pretty. I don't mind beating up something that's been out there and played with, but something that's too nice is not going on a rifle. All right, folks, I'm going to break up with this one, and, if you guys scrounge around, okay, let me give you a quick eBay tip here. Now, literally when I was bidding on this, somebody was trying to snipe me last second. Here is how you do it. Literally what you want to have is you want to be bidding on your computer. You want to have either one or two smartphones on standby. So literally what you do, price is about let's just say price is $99, okay? Your upper limit is going to be $175. Here's what you do. Phone number one, $125. Phone number two, $150. Computer is set for $175. So literally what you do, last 10 seconds of the auction, here is what you do. First and foremost, bid, bink, $125. 2 seconds later, bink, $150. Last bid on the last 2 or 3, 5, 10 seconds, whatever it is, bam, $175 is your final maximum offer. Always bid your highest bid last when you're going bing, bing, bing. But do it in the last 10 seconds. Always. So you want to go bid, bid, bid. Literally in that order. Bid, bid, bid. Last 10 seconds. Because it's going to take a second for it to cycle through. By the time the bids all go through queue and get tabulated up, you can be a winner. Literally, that's what I did with this, and that's why I won. Came under $200, but it was still not even close to my maximum bid, and I beat the last guy by $1.50. Case in point, you can do this type of stuff. Always be your best. Well, the sniping programs are cool and all, but I'm not going to go that route. I would rather ride that thing myself, and I usually win by doing it that way. That is how you win an eBay auction. All right, folks, I'm going to break up this one. Eat good, keep thundering as always. You know you love it. Hopefully my voice will be back 100%, but I'm still kind of like coughing up the lung butter and nose nasties. This cold has been a pain in the ass. All right, folks, I'm going to break up this one. Eat good, keep thundering as always. You know you love it. Cool, old school scope goodness. Cool. See you guys.